Okay. So, thanks for being here, everybody.
It's a Wednesday morning. We are live and local weekday morning, 6 to 9. The information to start your day with a smile or two because it is the club. Welcome to it. Andy VR and Mark Thomas. We're live and local until 9 o'clock, followed by Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Another beautiful day in paradise. Enjoy it. We should be in the 80s, but we're not there. We're at 78 degrees under sunny skies for a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. It's our time to visit with Marla Letitia from the Long Life Era community on Facebook. Check it out because we're talking about wellness on a Wednesday morning. Good morning, Marla.
Good
Hey,
morning. Already
everybody.
feeling well, having you sitting next to me here in the
You
studio.
bring in such positive energy because normally Mark and I, or me, I'm normally pretty much curmudgeon-y this time in the morning. So.
Oh, well, listen, as long as you turn that around, because positive energy is a wellness concept, let me just tell
Are you
right?
positive about that?
I'm positive
Okay,
about that.
just checking.
Good one, Andy.
Last week we didn't touch on it. We sort of mentioned this last week, but we didn't touch on it. The fact that when it comes to being 55 plus, which all of us in this room are, I know Mark's on the bottom end. No, you're not 55 yet, are you?
I am 55.
Okay. Well, we're sort of the overlooked demographic these days because if you watch TV, all they're talking about is EDs and wearing diapers and going to your doctor and asking them specifically for this medication. They really don't think we're vibrant people anymore.
Right. So, welcome to the forgotten generation if you're
Thank you.
55 plus at this point.
Wait, that doesn't sound very positive.
Yeah.
See, now you're not making me feel real
The
good.
water's plenty warm, let me tell you.
Actually, and you know what? I really came present to this idea knowing we were going to talk about it, but we as a culture, and certainly when we were growing up, and certainly those that are growing up now, we tend to tune our fork to what is marketed to us, correct? So when we're young, in our generation, we were marketed cigarettes, we all started smoking them. Nikes, everything, and then suddenly we reach this age that we have all stayed healthy and tried to get to, and when we do, the only thing we're being marketed is Medicare, as you said, depends, the different things, and so we do feel old and we do feel forgotten. And as I had said before, is that during open enrollment for Medicare, the person that they are showing as what we call a senior now looks like my grandparents, does not look like me or my generation.
Right.
But you did some research, Andy, and let's get to that, which is about how the media tends to separate the demographics, the age demographics.
Well, because we're radio people, and we're broken down by demographics, and according to the folks that track these things, the strongest sell when it comes to radio listening for us, which is important, is currently 55 to 64. So we're talking to the people all our age right now, and they're the heaviest radio users and heaviest listeners.
Right.
Yet the radio advertising doesn't appeal to them. The average new car buyer, according to, once again, the folks at Nielsen, is 53 years old. Mm-hmm. In our demo, yet again. But when you watch TV about buying a new car, it's all very young, hip people that want to look cool driving their vehicles. Well, they can't afford to buy those vehicles. They've got to come to us to buy the new cars.
Correct.
So it's interesting to me and frustrating at the same time because in the business that we're in, when you go to people to buy advertising or try to get them to advertise in your radio station, they're probably the age of my granddaughter.
Right. So let's review this statistic, which is the baby boomer generation, for which we're part of, 60 plus, basically, 61 plus. There are 73 million baby boomers still alive on the planet in America at this time.
With lots of money.
We were the largest generation ever born post-World War II, and the next generation had birth control, so even though they could have been bigger, they were not, right? And so what is happening is those dollars are not being gone after, right? So I have this fantasy that I live within my head. I'll try not to be too specific or graphic about this.
Okay.
But this is, that was a joke. This is theater of the mind, right? Mm-hmm. Radio is the theater of the mind. So let's talk about this. I see Nike doing a television commercial in a bus in New York City, pulls up to the stop. In it walks up someone of our generation, of the long life generation, wearing a really cool pair of Nike shoes. As she, because I see myself playing this role, walks onto the bus, two things happen. Number one, someone who is younger gets up and gives their seat to the long life era individual. And at the same time, another young person actually realizes and takes the cue and gets up and gives his seat to an 8-month pregnant woman. Okay?
It's catching on.
That's, it catches on that quickly, right? That's leadership. Then Nike goes in and says, you want these cool shoes, look at these shoes, and the long life era person is wearing them. And in the end, both of those young people who gave up their seats are like, I love those shoes.
Right.
I'm going to go buy them.
But it's funny you should mention that, because I think the group that has the jump on Nike in reference to the hip shoes out now are Skechers, because they're marketing those slip-ons that you can put on without bending over. And that appeals to not only Tony Romo was doing those ads, but they're really appealing to the folks that don't want to bend over to put their shoes on, which primarily is going to be us, the older folks.
Right.
So they're marketing to a younger demo, but at the same time they're appealing to the older by saying, you know what, you don't have to bend over to put your shoes on anymore. Just slip your feet in the shoes and walk off. Skechers already has the jump on Nike in that respect.
Right. So I think really is what our purpose is here is we want to talk about bringing these new cultural changes. I mean, that's when things catch on, is when they truly change culture. And I think really we're at the forefront of doing that. To the end game of when we talk about wellness, because everybody says, Marla, how are you connecting your cooking as Nanny Bubby to the wellness and the long life era? And it's really simply, let me tell you, I was doing a podcast with a 28-year-old earlier in the week. And that 28-year-old said to me, I am terrified of turning 30. I do not know. I know I didn't want to laugh either, but she really did. And she said, I just don't know what to do with myself. And it's terrifying me. And I realized that I'm not going to be young forever. And what I came into touch with is that if you don't start transitioning your age mindset in your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s, you won't make it to 70. You just won't.
I have this conversation every single year on my birthday with my younger sister, and then I say, you know what? And last year I said, I don't know how 63 is supposed to feel, because I don't think I've mentally made the transition. Yeah, I've modified behaviors and I've modified my diet, but I said when my folks were 63, they were retired, hanging around on the lanai of their house, just having, just relaxing. I said, I don't know what 63 is supposed to feel like, so I just sort of continue what I'm doing and modify my behavior based upon what my capabilities are.
Okay, here's a question. What's the age you are in your head? What do you feel? I feel like I'm...
I'm still a little kid that grew up in Ewa Beach, Hawaii, and that's my reference point all the time.
16, 17?
Not even.
Mark
not even,
said 12. Really,
yeah.
Mark? Not 30? Really? How old?
Not 30.
12.
No.
12 is probably on the low end.
Yeah.
I would say 12 to 16.
I'm even younger than that. I was having this conversation in my head this morning on the way to work, because my first memory as a kid, because I was in the middle of the family, I'm the third of 5 children, was that I was 4 years old and there was nobody that wanted to play with me.
Oh.
So I left the house and I walked like 2 miles to the grocery store where my mom worked, and I showed up, and because nobody would play with me. My mom had to call my grandmother at home and ask, is Andrew around? I want to talk to him. It took him like 15 minutes to figure out that I was at the grocery store with my mom. Those are the things that pop around in my head
those
at
are
2 o'clock in the morning.
Those are the little
me.
T traumas that we experience as children that actually forms our adulthood, right? Takes therapy to get over that.
Yeah,
So
counseling
you
now,
want to work
yeah.
on that too.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what we're eating. So here's some things. I just want to drop this for everybody, because I really have this one thing that I say, which is do not blame butter for what canola oil did to our bodies.
And I'm finally glad that it's come to the realization, because I love butter.
Yes, and butter is a good and healthy fat. It always has been. It always will be. Here are the bad fats. And let me tell you, if you're eating gas station food, which what I mean by that is if you get hungry and you run into some sort of quick whatever and buy a bag of anything, These are the fats that you're eating, and they are clogging your arteries. They are causing you inflammation. They are causing you brain fog. There is a connection between the gut and the brain, and this is about curing your gut health, because if you can cure that gut health, you can cure and help your brain health. So here we go. You ready?
I am.
Canola oil. Don't eat canola oil. And the bottom line to that is, what is a canola? Can anybody tell me what a canola is? It's something that has a strange name that is 100% chemical, very little oil in it. Don't eat canola oil, soy oil, sunflower oil, cottonseed oil, corn oil, very bad, grapeseed oil, safflower oil, and non-butter spreads like margarine.
Right.
Forget it, okay? Good oils, ready?
Everything's not better with blue button on it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I love that. Olive oil, excellent for you. Peanut oil, butter, yes, butter.
How about apple butter? Is that good? I
Apple
love
butter. Apple butter is not really butter.
Right.
It's something else.
It's an apple.
It's
It's
apple.
been pulverized.
Yes. Macadamia nut oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, animal fats like lard, tallow, palm oil, and any artisanally produced unrefined oil. The problem with the bad fats is their processing.
Right.
And it's that processing that causes inflammation. You know, you see these young people that are overweight. They're really not overweight. They're inflamed. They're inflamed. And that's it for Wellness Wednesday.
I'm telling you, that's a fun. At least I'm on the right path, because I know I love butter.
Yes.
Yeah.
But don't combine it with a high carb level.
You mean I can't put gobs of butter on a baked potato?
Baked potato, maybe not so bad, right? But you don't want to put it on a non-organic bread. Sourdough
Okay.
bread, yes,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah, okay. All right. Wellness Wednesday. She'll be back next week with another great segment for us. Always a pleasure to see you, Marla. Thanks
With
for coming
breakfast. Thank you for having me,
And
guys.
don't
Love
forget-
being here.
Don't forget to find her at nannybubby.com.
Yes, nannybubby.com. The replay is there. Also, please, if you are one of the people 55 plus that are watching or listening to this show, join the Long Life Era Facebook group. It's not a page, it's a group. Facebook group. Ask to join.
in. Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Facebook, will
you.
you just change that intro to Facebook group, not Facebook page?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
cool.
okay. Thank you, guys.
Always a pleasure.
That was good. What do you think? Goes so fast.
That's always a good indicator.
Down for a second. I'm just going to get a still
Okay, everybody. Bye. Hope you enjoyed that.
Would you want Facebook group or Facebook community?
Long era Facebook, long era,
Life.
long life era
community,
community
right?
Facebook group.
Oh,
Community
okay.
Facebook group. Thank
Can you make that longer? Is it possible to make that longer?
Bye, everybody.